Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Senate Business Professions and Economic Development Committee. Today, we are going to begin as a subcommittee until other members can arrive, but I do have a couple committee announcements that I want to just highlight. We have 11 bills on our agenda today. At the request of the authors, file item number 3, SB 993 by Senator Ochoa Bogue, and file item 11, SB 1351 by Senator Eric Geen will not be heard today. So if you guys are here for that, I apologize, but they have pulled their bills. Thank you. So we do not have any bills on our consent file. So I do want to highlight that as much as possible. We're going to typically start as a first come, first serve for any of the authors that are going to be presenting. A reminder to everyone that in this committee, we accept testimony from members of the public and witnesses at the microphone over there. 2 lead support and 2 lead opposition witnesses are allowed 2 minutes to present. You will be timed, and everyone adding as a me too in support and opposition will come at the very end to state their name, their organization, and whether they oppose or support the bill. Again, seeing as we have no quorum, we are going to start as a subcommittee. And so, and I just want to flag which senator was first. Okay. Okay, sorry, you were in the crowd. So we're going to start with Senator Blakespear with file item number 2, SB 936. Senator, whenever you want to start. All right.
Okay, good morning. Thank you, Chair and colleagues, for the opportunity to present SB 936. I'd like to begin by thanking the committee for their hard work on this bill. SB 936 takes a measured approach to addressing the rise of nitrous oxide misuse in California. Nitrous oxide is a colorless, odorless gas with an addictiveness similar to crack cocaine that poses serious public health, safety, and waste management concerns. It has become a popular recreational drug, and improper inhalation is known to cause dizziness, impaired brain function, loss of motor control, asphyxia, and death, and repeated exposure has been linked to long-term neurologic damage. While nitrous oxide has legitimate usage in controlled settings, such as in dental offices, bakeries, and automotive shops, use outside of these environments creates significant risks. Large tanks that are labeled for culinary use are widely available through retail shops and online marketplaces, and they're often marketed with flavored varieties and branding that appeal to young consumers. And I'll just show as an example what you can buy in a smoke shop or in some liquor stores. This is a Hot Whip nitrous oxide with an easy to inhale fixture that you can put on the top. And this is $34, advertised right here in Sacramento and purchased. And it says do not inhale, but then it is also flavored watermelon, cream charger. So this is just an example of how easy it is to get something that is deadly and addictive. Driving under the influence of nitrous oxide can cause impairment and accidents. One such incident in my district involved a father falling asleep behind the wheel after consuming nitrous and crashing into a fence. The father then threw the canister of nitrous oxide under his car, grabbed his 2 children, who were aged 2 and 4, and fled the scene. These types of incidents are hard to track because nitrous oxide does not appear on traditional breathalyzers or drug tests, making it difficult for law enforcement to detect impairment or enforce the current law. In addition, discarded canisters are hazardous and expensive to recycle. Pressurized canisters can explode during collection or processing, damage equipment, and endanger workers' lives. It also costs the county upwards of $60 to recycle each of these containers, which far exceeds the cost of actually purchasing them. This one is purchased for $34.99. For all of these reasons, several California counties and cities in California, including Orange County, which I represent, Costa Mesa, and Newport Beach, have already restricted the retail sale of nitrous oxide tanks. SB 936 builds on these local efforts by establishing a clear statewide standard. Specifically, SB 936 would prohibit the retail sale of nitrous oxide canisters larger than 8 grams while preserving legitimate uses in medical, dental, and culinary and automotive settings. Importantly, the bill does not ban nitrous oxide outright, and it does not affect standard 8-gram whipped cream chargers that are commonly used in culinary applications. SB 936 also does not create new possession crimes. Instead, it focuses on restricting the sale and distribution of high-risk products, using civil penalties and regulatory tools rather than criminalization. We have taken a series of amendments to address some of the opposition concerns, clarifying that restrictions apply only when a distributor knows or reasonably should know that a product will be used for inhalation, ensuring items like balloons or bags are not accidentally captured. The amendments also move the bill into the Health and Safety Code for more effective enforcement and make clear that local governments can continue to adopt and enforce stricter restrictions if they choose. By targeting the specific products most commonly associated with misuse, this bill aims to reduce youth access, prevent impaired driving, and protect workers in California's waste management systems. With me in support, I have two supervisors, Supervisor Katrina Foley of Orange County and Supervisor Michelle Bushnell of Humboldt County.
You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Wahab and the members. Thank you for hearing SB 936, and thank you to Senator Blakespear for bringing this bill forward. I'm Katrina Foley, Vice Chair for the Orange County Board of Supervisors. SB 936 is about the nitrous oxide products, how they're packaged, flavored, marketed, and sold. In addition to the comments by Senator Blakespear, I bring personal knowledge of the devastating impacts of the unregulated sale and distribution of nitrous oxide in our communities. I've personally engaged with families living through the wreckage of nitrous oxide addiction, families who've endured experiencing the lives of their beautiful, talented, creative, athletic, young adult children destroyed in no time. I've personally engaged with families who watch their young adult children, siblings, and loved ones develop a psychosis, mirroring schizophrenia, reaching out to the county for involuntary commitment in and out of emergency rooms and on repeated involuntary holds. I've personally met patients who suffer from neuropathy, loss of balance, tingling of the hands and feet, and other neurological symptoms that they may never recover from. I've spoken to neurologists who worry about the increase in young adults they treat due to nitrous oxide abuse. I've personally heard from first responders who see the aftermath of crashes, people passed out while cars are running, empty canisters and balloons scattered everywhere, lives injured, and worse, lives lost, and families forever changed. I've seen how quick and easy devastating high becomes an outlet for people struggling with addiction. And I've personally seen it tear apart families, destroy stability, and leave people trapped in a repeated crisis. These oversized canisters with slick graphics, some larger than fire extinguishers, sold in flavors like strawberry and watermelon, along with balloons and attachments designed for inhalation, are for recreation, not for any public purpose. I ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today to support SB 936. I'm Michelle Bushnell, Humboldt County Supervisor. Thank you to Senator Blakespear. I am here not just with facts, but with urgency. Nitrous oxide, laughing gas, whippets are no longer a harmless novelty. It is a growing epidemic and public health concern, especially among young people. Easy access flavored cartridges, as you have seen, and aggressive marketing. My thingy's not going to go up. So sorry. Oh, there we go. Aggressive marketing have turned into substance into something far more dangerous. I have personally been affected by nitrous oxide. 10 years ago, my car was stolen by a young woman who wrecked and killed a man, hit a man while she was doing whippets while driving. The man was killed on the freeway. She left him like an animal and drove off and said she had hit a cow. It was terrible, and she had been doing nitrous. She was 21 years old, and she had been doing nitrous for about 5 years. Also, This young lady is Anisha, 19 years old, was killed 5 months ago by someone that was driving while doing nitrous. They wrecked and hit a PG&E truck. The driver did. She was ejected and killed instantly. This is Nicholas Cartier, 21 years old, an employee of mine who was found dead with a whippet in his hand. 21, he lived in my apartment, and when I cleaned out his apartment, I found 10 black garbage bags full of nitrous in his apartment. I urge you to take consideration of how dangerous nitrous is and to understand that this is an epidemic. I have constituents in my district begging for some kind of regulation and legislation around this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any lead opposition witnesses? I don't know if you guys are walking towards some lead opposition. Okay. Seeing none, we're going to go to Me Too's, both in support and opposition. State your name, your organization, and whether you support or oppose.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair and members. Ryan Sherman with California Narcotic Officers Association. We're in support of the bill and support all of these nitrous oxide bills this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Jean Hurst here today on behalf of the Boards of Supervisors of the counties of Santa Barbara and Santa Clara, as well as the urban counties of California in support.
Thank you.
Good morning. George Soares of the California Medical Association in support.
Thanks.
Jack Worson from Nossaman on behalf of the City of Ventura in support.
Serena Scott on behalf of the League of California Cities in support.
Alex Alaniz on behalf of the American Nurses Association of California in support.
Tony Hackett on behalf of Californians Against Waste in support.
Keely Morris on behalf of Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts in support.
Good morning, Amy Jenkins on behalf of the National Stewardship Action Council, co-sponsor of the bill, as well as the California Cannabis Operators Association in support. Thank you.
Good morning, John Kennedy, Rural County Representatives of California. Happy to be a sponsor of the bill along with the others.
Good morning, Cassandra Marr on behalf of the town of Apple Valley in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Jackie Anasi, Beth Workology in support. Thank you.
Reed Addis on behalf of Rethink Waste in support.
Thank you. Seeing no other Me Too's, we're going to move on to committee comments. Would anybody like to comment? Senator Archuleta?
Thank you, Senator, for bringing this forward. And imagine if these were beer bottles and wine bottles and whiskey bottles and alcohol. Obviously, we would be jumping right across the counters to go ahead and stop it. And I think with our young that are dying, and we just heard someone who was killed by a driver who's obviously impaired by this. I was so proud to the work I'm doing, and the Senate and the committee, all of us are doing to stop the drunk driving that we hear about. But obviously, when young people have access to something like this, that's going to cause even further problems than we can even realize. The next generation coming up, imagine the lives we're going to save by stopping this sort of thing. But Senator, I do ask, when you mentioned that that container there obviously should be banned, no doubt. But when you mentioned that 8 grams, that would be permissible. Explain how that would be a difference, because I would like to see it stop completely.
I mean, the focus on this size is that this is a size that's being routinely abused right now because of its, obviously its size, and they're being sold as if they're for culinary uses, but they're actually for illicit uses to get high. And so we're focusing on this because it's just such a prevalent problem.
Well, I support the bill when it's appropriate. I'll move it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none. I do just want to say, just as the former chair of public safety, we do see a lot of violations of these types of things that we don't think about, whether it's Sharpie pens or whippets, I guess, right? But I do want to say that there is typically a process that where the licensee, the individuals that are selling these particular items, there is agencies that kind of oversee their license. And so I just want to make sure that, as this bill moves forward, that, there is some consideration of the current agencies and their enforcement practices and how we can strengthen that as well. I do want to flag that there is a difference between the civil penalties versus the criminal. But this is getting more and more rampant. In fact, I was driving in San Francisco and I saw a guy with, in my opinion, was a whipped cream bottle. And you don't even want to drive next to them because you're like, I can't stop them if they pass out. And I was in kind of shock. So I do want to say that this is an issue that we do see in the public, and obviously kids are abusing it too. So my recommendation is an aye, but I do just want to flag for the author to try to work with the agencies that currently oversee the process. We will move it at the appropriate time. We do not have quorum yet. Let me see. No, we do not have quorum yet. So we're going to just put it on file to bring up in a minute. Thank you.
May I close?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the comments, and enforcement is really important. I think the reality, this is a photo of a liquor store in Orange County, which, some people might not even ever go into a smoke shop, but people are in liquor stores all the time for all sorts of things. And this here, right at the front, is just huge displays of these. So there really is a normalization of this, and so changing the law so that this is something that we don't see in liquor stores is what's really important. And I'll also just I want to highlight that because we had ACLU opposition to this bill in the first committee, we really have been working with them. They were concerned that those who are selling plastic bags or balloons for other uses might get caught up in this, some sort of prohibition on the sale. And so we've dealt with that concern by making that clear that if you're just buying balloons or plastic bags, you're not going to end up in violation of the law. So with that, I very much appreciate the involvement with this important bill, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. All right. So as I said earlier, we still do not have quorum, so we're going to move on to the next bill. Senator Richardson, if you would like to present file item number